Hey, good Tuesday. This is State Representative Brad Halbrook here, along with Leader Representative David Freeze and the Illinois Freedom Caucus Director Colin Mosley. Welcome to our Tuesday edition of the Freedom Caucus Roundtable and Town Hall. We're going to bring this to you a little bit earlier in the day just because we're going into session at 1 o'clock today. Not sure exactly if we're going to see anything in session, but maybe a lot of committee work this afternoon and tomorrow morning. And depends on what happens this afternoon. We may come back live like we did 2 weeks ago as the first week of VETO Session and kind of give you updates for sure. I would say tomorrow and maybe Thursday, depending on what, because there's a lot of heavy duty stuff on the agenda, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. With that, welcome, gentlemen. And so we'll get right into our slides, and let's go to the next slide as we talk about, let's just talk about some tragedy that happened that affected our family, if you will. The Bailey family, more importantly, and welcome Leader Chairman Chris Miller to the live stream. And so I'm just going to open this up. If somebody wants to touch on this situation and kind of give us an update here with the Bailey family.
Just real quick, obviously such a sad story. When I heard about this, just broke my heart. Feel really, really bad for the Bailey family. I can't imagine going through this, and definitely my prayers are with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chairman Miller, anything to add? And then we'll bring up Director Mosley to kind of give us the details on what's happening with the events of the weekend coming forth.
No, it's just unbelievable. As a parent and grandparent, I can imagine going through something like this. I mean, I don't know. I sent, Darren a text and told him anything that I can say seems so trite. And just because I just wanted him to know that we're thinking about him, praying for him. And I don't know what else to do. Only God can give peace and understanding and comfort at times like this. And I know that Darren and Cindy are people of faith, and so you have to lean on the everlasting arms of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and he will see them through this calamity.
Exactly. Colin, I know you know this family at a much different level than probably any of the three of us do, and I'll just get your insights and kind of an update on what's going on.
Well, Chris is absolutely right in everything that he just said, and I think that that hope is something that the family's leaning on. The whole Bailey family and Kelsey's family, this is a Clay County family, and Clay County is not very big, so it touches everybody, and the community is truly mourning together. But at the same time, again, a community that leans on their faith, and so that's what's helping everybody to get through this time, and certainly everyone's thinking about Finn, the surviving son, who has a lot to navigate over the rest of his life. But thankfully, he's got a loving family around him too. His services will be this weekend at Oil Belt Christian Service Camp in Flora. The obituaries were, or the arrangements anyway, were released late last night. And so services will be Sunday, Monday for the family. And hopefully, people can begin the healing process that's sort of begun already, but that closure of a final resting place, and they can continue to love on Finn and move forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, very, very difficult. No amount of words. The most important thing we can do is just offer support to this family and the survivors, and continue to pray for them, and trust that God will grant them peace and comfort during this difficult time. So, that's right. Exactly, gentlemen. All right. So another unfortunate tragedy, Chris, happened in your home county over the weekend. Illegal aliens doing things they shouldn't be doing. Number one, they were in the country illegally, my understanding, and then they caused this crash that took the 2 lives and injured 2 others in this vehicle. Chris, I'll just open it up to you since this happened in your county.
Well, I think it's important that we remember the names of Mike Clayton and Gail Clayton. And, it's one of those unfortunate things because we are starting to see a pattern develop where these illegals are getting drunk and killing people in their vehicles. And this has been going on for a long time. And, in my opinion, there's more questions than answers because, where did they get the money for their vehicle? Where did they get the money for gas? Where did they get the money for alcohol and drugs? How long have they been in the states illegally? Where do they work if they have a job? How long have they, been employed? Where did the drugs come from? I mean, those are questions that I would like to have answered, but I know that I just got off of the phone with constituents, and these people are mad because this homicide lays directly at the feet of J.B. Pritzker and the Democrats and their radical policies that opened the borders. They've 550,000 illegals approximately have flooded into the sanctuary state of Illinois, and crime is out of control. Vehicular homicide is out of control, and this is all the result of J.B. Pritzker and the Democrats' failed policies to be a sanctuary state. And it's time for the citizens of Illinois to rise up. And right now they're in the process of trying to gerrymander our maps even more. And the Republicans in the state of Illinois ought to be livid, and they ought to be energized. And the people that show up to vote in this midterm, we ought to have 100% Republican turnout and take the reins out of the hands of tyrants.
Right. Exactly. Leader Freeze, this stuff doesn't just happen in Chicago. This has happened over the weekend in Coles County, East Central Illinois. We saw the drunk driver that killed the college girl in Champaign County just not very long ago, the murder of a female in Sangamon County last year sometime that brought Secretary Noem to a press conference in May that we attended. This stuff just doesn't happen in the city. It happens in central and southern Illinois. Just your thoughts from a legal perspective, what you're seeing, and just thoughts on this whole situation.
Well, Chris absolutely nailed it. This lies at the feet of Governor Pritzker and the Democrat Party. There's absolutely no reason for this to take place. Biden opened the borders wide open for 4 years. How many millions of people came into the country illegally. And now in the city of Chicago, when we're trying to get rid of, ICE is trying to get rid of people who are in the country illegally, they've got citizens who are more concerned about these people who entered illegally than their own neighbors. The people who were born and raised in this state. Every Monday, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, we get numbers on the shootings and deaths in the city of Chicago. And I don't see anybody in the street raising hell about what's happening to those people. Instead, they're up in arms, throwing things at ICE agents, rioting in the streets over people trying to do their job and get these illegals out of our country. It is puzzling beyond belief to me.
Right. And Colin, I need to clarify. I said this happened in Coles County. It was a Coles County board member. It happened in Clark County, which I'm not sure exactly where the scene was, but it's on a popular road that connects, I believe, Charleston into Clark County, not far out of Coles County. So I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that. So any closing thoughts, Colin, that you might have on this situation?
Well, I think, Brad, you rattled off a list of incidents that have happened, and there was another one on that list just a few months ago in Senator Andrew Chesney's district. A prominent mother, a young family. Matter of fact, the daughter was actually in the WNBA. Just a well-known family. Same thing, killed by an illegal immigrant. And so, whether you live in obviously Chicago, but whether you live in Rockford or Freeport or Mattoon, Charleston or Marshall or Champaign, it doesn't matter. Right. It's coming to a home near you really quick. And and there is no excuse for it because it's completely and totally preventable with better public policy.
Right.
The good news is that ICE miraculously showed up in Clark County, and I know that they are. If they do catch and release, they're ready to apprehend them and deport them or do whatever they need to do to bring justice to this issue.
And this guy had a passenger. I mean, so hopefully the guy driving will serve a long time in prison. But this guy had an illegal immigrant passenger too. You know, they travel in groups. There's rarely just one. And so, yeah, to Chris's point, hopefully that guy's back.
It's my understanding anyway, unless that the passenger has been apprehended by ICE. I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure that I read the documentation on that.
Good. Can't wait.
Well, again,
girls melt the street down over that.
Yeah. Gentlemen, a tragic situation that should have never happened. And again, we need to continue to pray for the survivors of this family and their friends. County board member, but it doesn't matter, right? Lives are lives, and it's a tragic situation, and something's got to be done with the illegal alien situation. Right. So we opened up with talking about VETO Session this week, starting here right away today. Green energy bills, the redistricting thing. Again, we're probably going to hear more about anti-ICE and pro-illegal policies and tax increases, multiple levels of tax increases. Gentlemen, we'll just kind of throw it up. Let's just go to David and then Chris and Colin. If you guys have got any thoughts, maybe we can kind of hit on energy for sure, and maybe redistricting of kind of some developments there.
Well, I obviously there's been a lot of discussion about the pending energy bill. Haven't seen the final version of it yet. We were talking beforehand. I think you mentioned it's 1,000 pages. It'll probably have a couple amendments between now and the time we have a chance to vote on it, if it actually makes it to the floor. It's absolutely exhausting. They shouldn't call these green energy bills. They should call them brownout bills, because that's what's going to happen in our districts if this goes through. We're going to have brownouts and blackouts because we're not going to have the energy on the grid that we need. And whatever, I guarantee you, whatever bill gets through, it's going to be a rate increase for every resident in the state of Illinois. Bottom line.
Right. Yeah, we saw no less than 3 subject matter hearings in the last 60, 70 days. The hype now is this is going to save consumers $20 a month over the next 20 years. But what they don't tell you is the increases that are coming to help you save. So evidently, like us former Speaker Pelosi says, we have to pass the bill to see what's in it. Leader Chairman Miller, I guess we have to raise your rates to make them cheaper down the road.
Yeah. That's the circular reasoning that exists in the radical left's mind. And I'm not exactly sure how I think that somehow they've lost some connection there because these people are mentally challenged when it comes to their green energy gods. And we've already seen a 40% increase in our electric bill. I know that, I just paid mine there over the weekend, and it was $600, and we have geothermal, and we're never home. And so I can imagine what the people are, because right now we're in that transition period where we aren't running heat and we aren't running the air conditioning. And so what's it going to be like when we do? And the people that I really feel sorry for, the people that are on fixed incomes that really don't have the capacity to handle this mess that the radical Democrats have created, because this is obviously their God. And the only amendment will fix this is the final amendment to put a dagger in it and throw it in the trash and burn it. But because there's no way to fix this mess that they've created. I don't care if it's 1,000, I don't care if it's 1,100 pages. It won't fix anything, because these people have a track record and a history of not fixing anything but destroying what should be a no-brainer here in the state of Illinois to have cheap, affordable, reliable energy. And there is no way that they can ever cover Illinois with enough solar panels or windmills in order to do baseload generation at an affordable rate. They just continue to screw it up.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, don't worry, Chris. They're going to bring batteries online. That's going to fix everything.
Oh yeah. It's just unbelievable. The
logic.
Their green religion,
Well, and gentlemen, we usually open up with, this is the home of truth, logic, and common sense. And I think legislating like they have done on this particular matter there's no truth, there's no logic, there's no common sense to this. And when you start legislating, you start without a true north here, you start making all these ripples in the pond, if you will, that have to be fixed down the road with more and more legislation. And so they just, Chris, you're right. The only way to fix this is to get rid of it all, because there's no fixing it. It only makes the situation worse. I just want people to realize that when they talk about, hey, your bills are going to be cheaper, that's bogus. It's going to be higher. It's already known next summer rates are going to be higher than this past summer rates.
Right. They are the kings and queens of denial.
Colin, you were going to make a statement. I interrupted. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say, on top of all the green energy issues, we just talked about a horrible tragedy caused by an illegal immigrant, and yet the Democrats are going to continue this week to push anti-ICE, pro-illegal policies. They want to ban immigration police from courthouses. They want to ban immigration police from hospitals. And for a practical scenario in which that's applicable, a couple of MS-13 gang members get into a shooting and go to the hospital, and instead of ICE being able to apprehend them, smoothly and quickly while they're receiving care, it's just like at the jails. They're going to have to wait until they're all bandaged up and released out the front door, and then make a public spectacle of it, because they're not allowed to apprehend people within so many feet of hospital. We're talking about criminals and people that are killing people, and the Democrats, we fully expect them to continue to make that job harder.
Right.
Do you guys want to touch on redistricting a little bit? We had Congressman, is he New York Congressman Hakeem Jeffries was in Springfield Monday? Is that right?
He was. That's my understanding. He's the minority Speaker of the House there in D.C., and he is a true blue.
Yeah, so we saw Texas have made some redistricting moves that dramatically changed the picture there. My understanding here, my research is saying California is maybe advancing some legislation. Missouri has or will convene a special session. Indiana in the news yesterday about convening a special session. There's some other movements, not only in Democrat states, but Republican states on this redistricting matter. And again, Illinois is kind of in the focus. When Texas was unfolding, the Texas legislators fled to Illinois. And once again, Governor Pritzker gave them cover and offered up whatever advice or whatever he could bring to whatever light he could bring to the matter. So let's just discuss redistricting here just a touch.
If you look over my left shoulder, you will see a map of the state of Illinois broken down precinct by precinct. And for some reason, there's a lot of red on the screen. And I know that I saw that their mock-up proposal on how they're going to gerrymander and change the map. If you think it's a joke right now, you got to see the new one.
Right.
Well, I got a kick when the Texas legislators, sought sanctuary in Chicago and in Illinois, and Pritzker was complaining about redistricting when our map is absolutely horrendous. It was comical. One of the funniest things I ever saw that our governor do or say. It was quite the joke. But I don't know how they do this now, because petitions are already turned in. They got turned in yesterday for congressional districts elections. So I don't know how they would do this in the middle of this, petition drive.
That's the nuance, right? Is a lot of people don't know that Illinois, not every state does it like we do, not petitions. Some states it's just a filing fee. So the nuance of Illinois makes things a little more difficult to do this stuff like they're doing in other states where you don't circulate petitions.
Well, we could suspend the rules.
What? Who would do that?
Right. If you're asking yourself if you can the Democrats in Illinois, the answer probably is yes.
Yeah. Well, they've jacked it all up, and they're going to jack it up even more so as we move forward. Well, gentlemen, a lively discussion. More to come this week, I'm sure. Colin, give us the websites and the Substack here, and maybe we'll close out for the evening.
Yeah, IllinoisFreedomCaucus.org. Follow our social medias. Check our YouTube. Watch our Substack. We're doing our best to keep you updated from the foxholes, from the trenches, as in Springfield.
Right. David, any closing comments here as we head to the end?
Just stay tuned. Hopefully, any report during this veto session is uneventful, but I'm concerned. It's there's something bad's going to happen. Inevitably, there's going to be. I tell everybody, I hate to say it, but there's probably going to be a tax increase in there somewhere. It's just a matter of where it's going to fall.
Right.
It's shocking news.
Yeah.
I know.
Chris, any closing thoughts?
Well, I think it's important that we continue to understand that we are not governed by the majority, but we're governed by the majority that participate. And so it's important that we participate in the process. And my thoughts is why not go for 100% turnout? 45% is not going to do it. And so we need to stay energized and stay motivated and keep our nose to the grindstone and make sure that we control what we can control. And a lot of times it's just our attitude, our effort, and our passion.
Exactly.
Amen.
Gentlemen, thank you for being on here this afternoon. And with that, we always appreciate that you'd like, share, comment, and subscribe to all of our channels to help us to get the word out to overcome the algorithmic gods of the big tech overlords. And with that, we'll close out for the afternoon, and we probably will see you real soon again. Thank you.